Hello everyone, and welcome back. As for today, we are going to discuss about Clarke Griffin, the main protagonist of the 100. A simple girl born on a space station who now seeks to help to recolonize the post-apocalyptic Earth. Clarke Griffin, well, is pretty much like your other average protagonist into post-apocalyptic franchises, in the sense that she is pretty much a hero who tries to define herself into a ruined world. And in this episode, we're going to discuss all that we know about her throughout the series, to understand Clarke Griffin and how well she grown up and developed as a person. And now, let's begin. Before we analyze Clarke, we first need to understand how the world in the 100 has came to be. And apparently, in this timeline, by the mid 21st century, humanity has come to near extinction because of an AI known as Ali, who wanted to solve the problem of the overpopulation by nuking on the whole planet Earth, resulting in much of the human race being destroyed and civilization has collapsed. However, the humans on the space station managed to survive, and all the space stations in the orbit united together as one, forming a singular civilization on the station, with officially led by a chancellor they selected by the people. And now, for nearly 100 years, the things pretty much remain like this, while the people who survived on Earth have descended back to primitivity and tribalism. And now, before we continue, we will need to stop and ask, how realistic is such a scenario? Well, I'm sadly, I can tell you that this scenario is quite realistic, as an AI is already part of everyone's lives, and the threat of nuclear war has once again become a new norm now in the 2020s, and it's not hard to see something like this actually happening. And now, circa around the year 2148, as roughly 97 years after the World War III, the Citadel has sent a group of 100 teenagers and young adults, and among them being our protagonist, Clarke Griffin, which is the daughter of the top scientist and the Chancellor advisor Abigail Griffin, as she sadly has committed her own crime and she was put into isolation alongside with the others. But she and the others were officially selected by the Chancellor to be sent back on Earth to check and to officially to see if the Earth can be repopulated once more. And of course, throughout her stay on Earth, there were various problems that she and her friends have come across to, including problems with the native tribes, or problems with the mountain men, or even the resurgence of the evil AI known as Ali, who restarted back a nuclear apocalypse on Earth. All the while, she and her friends and family have managed to end the whole arc eventually crashed on Earth, and thus allowing the people out there to try to repopulate the Earth. But all of these problems have only got worse and worse, as following Ali's defeat, a new nuclear apocalypse began, and the people sadly came once again close to actual near extinction. She managed to develop a serum that gave everybody nuclear radiation immunity. And of course, her friends managed and family managed to escape with the rocket into space, while she was sadly left on Earth. And she spent roughly 6 years on Earth, and she also had an adopted daughter in Maddie, who she came to care and cherish. Came into conflict with a prison transport ship where she was taken prisoner alongside with Maddie, but they were eventually saved by space crew. And soon, in order to protect Maddie, she has betrayed space crew, war crew, and even the religious prisoners as well, all to keep Maddie safe. And she eventually managed to reunite with her friends and decided to abort the ship of Eligius 4 alongside Maddie, and she went to cryo sleep for roughly 125 years. She eventually woke up around the year 2280 above the habitable moon of Sanctum, where there she met an actual group of humans who managed to escape from Earth following World War III and has inhabited the moon ever since. And now they officially decided all of them to start a new life out there on Sanctum, away from everything. But she eventually entered into conflict with the Primes, which she managed to defeat, and she became the de facto leader of the One Crew and tried to keep the peace among all the different groups of people on Sanctum. And of course, after her friends went missing, Clarke officially led the group to try to save them and encounter the disciples. And she and she managed to officially stop them and in order to save her friends. And now before we continue, we'll now stop and ask ourselves, is Clarke good? And the reason I put this question is because, while it's an undeniable fact that she's the protagonist of the story, she has done some immoral choices over the series. But she only did all these kind of choices only to keep her friends and loved ones safe and sound. And thus, in other words, Clarke, while she could be considered a bit evil to do what she has done, it could be seen without a doubt that she is a very necessary one, in the sense that she wants to protect all her friends and family. In my opinion, the answer ultimately is yes. Clarke is a good person who cares about others. And eventually, human race has officially achieved transcendence. But Clarke left behind to do the fact that she murdered Callaghan during the test. And so, she officially went back on the restored Earth alongside with her surviving friends, all of whom she chose to give up transcendence so she wouldn't be alone. So in the end, who is Clarke Griffin? She is nothing more but a simple girl who grown up into a post-apocalyptic world. A girl that will fight to the teeth in order to keep her friends and loved ones safe and sound, as one of the most morally grey protagonists in television. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and have a nice day.